converting to news items and breaking research in agenda item 2E here. And at this point, Gary, if you're still with us patiently, Gary, thank you. You've got some breaking research concerning emergency declarations and federal government's so-called civil war. Gary, would you like to go ahead and share your breaking research with our group here?
I've had this book here. It's called The Government's War Powers Under the Constitution of the United States, and analysts of the government's legal powers to fight subversion, treason, and civil war. It was written by William Whitney, who was a special counselor of the War Department in November of 1862, and later its solicitor in February of 1863. So he was under Lincoln. But I've been reading this thing last few years. I only got through about a third of it, and I had to go to other stuff, so I decided it's time to go back to it. And I sent out an email. What I'm doing now, when I get to a part I think it's worthwhile, I write up a little email and send it out like an editorial. And what I did was the de facto war powers under the constitutions of the United States corporations. Legal powers to fight subversion, treason, and civil war. Military government under martial law. Any section of this country, confederation, may be subjected to military government, and the rights of citizens of state republics in those districts are subject to martial law. No state republic citizen, whether loyal or rebel, guaranteed to him in the Constitution by reason of his subjection to martial law, because martial law, when enforced, is constitutional law. The people, through their lawfully chosen commander-in-chief, have the constitutional right to seize and hold the territory of a belligerent enemy and to govern it by martial law, thereby suspending the local government of the place and all rights which rebels might have had as state republic citizens of the States of America united within the Confederation. When martial law is enforced, the laws of war are the laws which the Constitution expressly authorizes and requires to be enforced. The Constitution, when it calls into action martial law for the time, changes civil rights, not natural rights, are rights which a state republic citizen would be entitled to in peace, because the rights of person in one of these cases are totally incompatible with the obligations of persons in the other. Peace and war cannot exist together. The laws of peace and of war cannot operate together. The rights of procedures of peaceful times are incompatible with those of war. In a state of war, the rules of martial law and the consequent modifications of the rights, duties, and obligations of state republics, citizens, private and public, are not authorized strictly under the Constitution. The States of America, united within the Confederation of State Republics, are obligated to guarantee to each state a republican form of government. That republican form of government having been overthrown by the United States of America Incorporated, a British corporation by force, the occupied country must take such steps, military and civil, as may tend to restore it to the loyal state republic citizens, if there be any. And if there be no persons who will submit to the Constitution of the States of America Incorporated and the rules, codes, and statutes of that corporation, it is their duty to hold that state republic by corporate military power and under corporate military rule until loyal citizens shall appear there in sufficient numbers to entitle them to receive back in their own hands the local corporate government. The rights of war and the rights of peace cannot coexist. One must yield to the other. Martial law and constitutional law cannot operate at the same time and place upon the same subject matter. There are no rights of war, only God-given natural rights within the confines of our Confederation of State Republics. That applies to state republic citizens. to violate the rights of others by whatever name it may be designated, whether it is called a constitution or league or conspiracy or domestic institution, is no justification under the law of nations for illegal or immoral acts. In the great tribunal of nations, there is a higher law than that which has been framed by either one of them. However scarce to each its own particular laws and constitutional government may be. But while this supreme law of our Creator is in full force and is binding in all countries, softening the asperities of war and guarding the rights of neutrals, it is not conceded that the corporation de facto government of the United States of America Incorporated in a war of aggression against what were once members of the States of America, a confederation of independent sovereign state republics, now the Confederate States of America, they owe no allegiance to the United States of America Incorporated, but to the confederation formed under the Articles of Freedom. And that's kind of what I got there. The rest is, first part is a lot about slavery. But as I go through that, when I think there's something that we need to know, I'll talk about it.
Thank you, Gary.
Well, good.
Yeah, thank you. What was the title of the book again?
The government's war powers under the Constitution of the United States.
Got it. Thank you.
I think I got it at Amazon, I believe.
Thank you.